In this very special episode, my guest and I cover how to pivot to new opportunities. We cover the number one threat to most dealer principals. And we talk about how having a bold vision of the future can see you through tough times in the present. We spend more than 5 minutes, but I can absolutely guarantee you it's worth it. Ladies and gentlemen, Gail from the newly minted GAIL'S Powersports. Gail, you've had just a long and storied history with Harley-Davidson, over 21 years yourself. Your family's legacy, we don't need to review that. But what I do want to review is I want to review your decision to break with Harley-Davidson after all of those years. Tell me, what was some of the logic behind that decision to leave Harley?
Okay, so back in January or February of 2020, several Harley executives shared with me their plans for the future, Harley-Davidson's plans for the future, and how they plan to substantially cut back on production and et cetera, everything that's going on today. And I asked them if they would help me get out of the contract because, frankly, I didn't want to be part of that. I have worked really hard my whole life, and I didn't want to work harder the last part of my years in business.
Yeah, right.
So, so it took a couple of months of talking about it, negotiations, and they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So I, as of October 1st of 2020, became a Powersports dealer, and now just sell pre-owned Harley-Davidson, Hondas, Indians, everything, and Powersports of all kinds.
So now it's Gail's Powersports. Excellent. Now that decision, that had to be hard. I mean, there must have been some emotion around all that. So there's the numbers, right? And then there's the emotion. Tell me about the emotion behind that decision.
Oh, it was tough. It was very tough because I love Harley-Davidson with all my heart. Always will. I always believe that it is the number one motorcycle on the planet. It was the right thing to do. It definitely was the right thing to do. The business wise, emotional wise, it was really hard, but I don't know. It feels good now that it's all done and behind me. Wow, fantastic decision. I feel great, and I'm still friends with everybody, all the dealers and all of the executives at Harley-Davidson. We still talk a lot, and everything's good. My life is fabulous.
Excellent, well done. Now, one of the things that you have always stressed is that dealer principals should have an eye on the numbers. What advice would you give other dealer principals to keep an eye on the numbers of their business?
Okay, most of us rely on our controllers and our business partners, our general managers to give us information. And we so rely on it. We look at our 20 club composites, that sort of thing. And oftentimes we so rely on that information that we don't really see everything that's happening. And your business can slip away. My business slipped away from me at one time, very recent time. And I believed everything that was being fed to me. And I nearly lost my business because of that. And I'm just, I cannot stress enough to pay attention to your numbers yourself every day. Watch those numbers because you could lose it. You could wake up one day and go, what the heck? Why aren't you telling me this? And your person who you rely on and who truly believed in themselves, they believe that they're telling you everything you want to know, but you don't know the number. You don't know the questions to ask if you're not looking at everything all the time. And
great. So what questions should you ask and where should you look? So, if you can't really rely on the 20 club numbers or the report that your general managers, are you saying you should go directly to your controller or your accountants and say, show me the income statement?
Yes. Show me the money. Watch your cash flow. Truly. because if you're not watching your cash flow, watching your money in and out, it gets away from you.
Yeah.
What exactly do you have in the bank, and what exactly do you have in inventory? What exactly do you owe? All those numbers, they start adding up, and those numbers, now they are within the 20 club numbers, but they're not focused on. At a 20 club, you look at broad numbers. You don't look at the intricate things.
Yeah.
And it can get by you if you just don't pay attention to every single thing. And nothing against the controllers or the general managers out there. They give you what you ask for. They give you that information and assume you know the rest.
Yeah. Excellent advice. That is terrific advice. So announcing this decision to depart must have been difficult, telling your employees and your customers. Tell me, what did you do to prepare that message, and how was it received?
Well, I have a few extremely close friends that I sat down and I told them what was going on, and I asked them for questions. What kind of questions they have, and I wrote them all down, and I wrote out the answers. And then when I made the announcement to the team, and when I made the announcement publicly, I was prepared with all the answers that my friends prepared me with. Well, they didn't prepare with the questions that they prepared me with. I prepared with the answers. So when I will tell you, I had no idea the support I was going to get from the world. That everybody was so behind me on this. It's amazing. Even to this day, people will call me and talk to me about it. Customers come in, they just say, "Oh, I want to check things out, see what's going on. I heard about the split." And it's just, it did my heart good to know.
Yeah, well, of course
everybody was there for me. When I made the announcement to the public, everybody clapped. Yeah. It was a huge event. I have a 9/11 tribute ride every year. And it was at my 9/11 tribute ride that I made the announcement, because it was the day before that ride that Harley-Davidson allowed me to make it public. And so at that ride was when I made the announcement. And everybody in the audience clapped, and they said, "We're behind you. We'll be there for you." And my hog chapter, the American Heartland Hog Chapter, became the Heartland Riders Adventure Group. And they get together, they ride everything, and they do every bit as much as they did before, maybe even more, and invite all brands to ride with us. And they've just been behind me the whole time. They never skipped a beat. It's amazing.
Yeah, Gail, one of the things that I really admire about you is that, your name is your brand. We were chatting about this just moments ago. It's Gail. It's like Cher. It's like Madonna, one word. There you have it. You have a loyal customer said, "It doesn't matter what you carry. We're here for you. We're here for Gails Brand." What does that sentiment mean to you?
Oh, man. Okay, that just means the world to me. I've worked very hard. My entire, 20 plus years as a business owner, it was all about making my brand in Kansas City. And my brand is all about people, caring about the people. It's taking care of the people first, and the bottom line comes. And that's what I've been all about. And that's what people are here for. It doesn't matter what brand I carry. Just like you said, people are saying, I ride a Harley-Davidson, but I'm here for Gail. And it's me and my team. My team makes up the Gails brand. When I talk about Gails, it's not just me. I mean, my ego's big, but it's the team that makes up Gails. I mean, okay, so I've got this logo. See behind me. It says Feel the Power. It's got these eagle eyes. Yeah. And that Feel the Power is not just feel the power of the motorcycle, but it's feeling the power inside you. That power that kicks you in the butt every morning and says, go out there and make a difference. And I swear you can feel the power when you walk in our doors. And that's what brand is all about.
Well, it's funny. As you know, Jerry Wilkie and I were just talking about culture the other day, and all of your people, they take on your personality. I mean, they're all like, 120 volts, which is just fantastic. Now, you do a ton of, let's talk about this. So as you transition into this, you're still going to be carrying pre-owned Harley-Davidsons. Tell me about the pre-owned Harley-Davidson market right now. What are your thoughts about it?
Okay, so the pre-owned Harley-Davidson market is, it's tough right now. It's easy to sell. That's not tough. The tough part is getting inventory. So, man, we're out there every day, all over the internet and all over Kansas City, just searching for motorcycles across the country, actually, but that's on the internet, but physically across Kansas City, and just trying to find motorcycles. It's a tough market out there, especially.
How important are auctions to you right now?
Okay, so the problem with auctions is the motorcycles are selling for more at an auction than they're selling for retail. So it's hard. I'm not saying I don't buy bikes at auction. I do, but actually I sell a few bikes at auction that I don't want to sell on our floor. But for the most part, the auctions are tough to buy from.
Yeah. So that's the key, though. I mean, you have to have the auctions as part of your partner portfolio, to both buy and sell inventory. Great. What are your other sources right now of pre-owned? Not giving away any trade secrets, but where else are you sourcing pre-owned bikes from?
I think the same place every single dealership in the country is going, all over the internet. Facebook and
Facebook Marketplace, Cycle Trader, Craigslist, right?
All the places that everyone else is using. I wish I had a silver bullet and could figure it out, something different than everybody else. But I think we're all doing fishing out of this pond. So the fish are, getting scarce.
Yeah, right. Okay, so tell me about the metric markets now. This is kind of a new thing for you. New brands, new vehicles, new stuff, new parts books, new everything. So tell me about entering into the metrics market.
It's been a challenge, actually. It's been fun though. I've had a blast, but it's been a challenge because it's different to find the stuff that everybody likes in all the other brands. Harley-Davidson's easy. Harley-Davidson's Harley-Davidson, but finding the import motorcycles, finding the bikes themselves is different, because I'm a Harley dealer. I'm used to finding the Harley-Davidson, but finding the Yamahas and the Hondas and stuff, it was surprisingly more difficult. Now that I also carry the Powersports side-by-sides and the ATVs, it's more difficult finding the general merchandise and the parts to go along with that, because there's so much to choose from.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
How are you doing finding techs?
Oh, actually, I have a couple of three really amazing import techs, and 3 really great Harley-Davidson techs, and 2 master Harley-Davidson master technicians. And that's an area that I would imagine would be a more difficult area, but that just happened for me. So I'm blessed in that area.
Excellent. So you're ahead of the game. Oh, has there been any culture shock transitioning from, the Harley world to the metric world? Any culture shock?
Can you expand on that question?
Well, yeah. Are you finding that customers are different? They expect their events to be different. Just their overall demeanor different. Any culture shock?
Okay, so the customers now are actually a little more understanding than they were before, which was a shock for me.
Yeah.
The events are the same. I have the same events as I've always had. So they're expecting that from me. And so they shall get that. That comes with my brand. But the people are easier going. And okay, so here's an interesting thing. The Harley-Davidson buyer finances. This is a big deal out there because financing is where we make our money,
right? Or
make a lot of money. The Harley buyer. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh shit!
I want you to know that's staying in.
So the Harley-Davidson buyer finances their motorcycles, and the side-by-side buyer pays cash. So it's weird. It's weird. The side-by-side is $15,000. The pre-owned Harley-Davidson is anywhere between $10,000 and $25,000, and so $15,000 average. So you think that it'd be about the same as far as financing goes, but it's not. The Harley buyer still finances, but the side-by-side guy pays cash. So the F&I that
because there's a lack of lenders, or that it's revolving finance versus installment loans. Any ideas?
No, I mean, yes, I have an idea. They have the cash. It's weird. We beg them to finance. Please finance your bike. Oh no, I just pay cash. And it's weird. It's financing them is easy. Okay, so I can still do that. There's still banks out there that finance.
Yeah.
But making them finance is difficult.
Yeah.
I don't
convincing them, persuading them that financing is good for them. Right.
Yes, it's just.
And listen, I got to tell you something. This is really saying something coming from you, because at one time you were the #1 business manager, Harley-Davidson business manager in the country. So that's something.
Thank you for remembering that.
Yeah, of course I do.
And what that was saying to Jerry Wilkie. He was helped me a lot on that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, and it's hard. It's difficult for a person like me whose life revolved around finance to lose that portion.
Interesting. Yeah, that's something. Okay, so let me ask you this then. Shifting gears for just a second. Why is community involvement so important to the Gails brand?
Well, I believe that what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that with all my heart. And so this is what I think. I picture this in my head. I picture that every one of us in the world, we are all climbing this ladder to success. And it doesn't matter what our success is. Whatever we do for a living, or not even to make money, we're all climbing this ladder of success. And every once in a while, somebody comes falling down the ladder, and you catch them. You can catch them and help them back up.
Yeah.
Or you can just sit back and watch them go. You have your choice. I want to be the person that helps people back on the ladder, because when I fall, which I have, when I fall on that ladder, I want people to go, oh, let me catch Gail and help her back on that ladder, and then keep on climbing to success. I don't want people to go, let her go. Yeah. So I just, it's karma.
Yeah. I buy that. Okay. So now let's talk about the future. You have stated that your vision for the future, I want to be the biggest and the baddest toy store in the USA, and I am going to do it. Tell me about that vision.
Yes. All right. So once I no longer carried Harley-Davidson, I decided that I am going to be the biggest and baddest toy store in the country. And I'm telling you what, I am well on my way. It's so much fun. I'm having a ball. It's harder in that it takes a lot more time. What I'm doing now, I spend a lot of time with manufacturers that I've never spent before. a lot of time ordering stuff. It's just, everything's different, but it's more fun. I'm having a blast because everything I sell is fun.
Yeah.
I sell side-by-sides and go-karts and bicycles and Harley-Davidsons and Yamahas, everything. You just name it, I sell it, and it's so much fun. It's all these toys. And if I don't carry it, I'll find it for you.
There you go.
And
right
so
on.
it's awesome.
If you had 2 or 3 pieces of advice to other dealers who are watching this video, what 2 or 3 pieces of advice would you give them?
My number one piece of advice for a Harley-Davidson dealer out there is if Harley-Davidson makes you an offer, take it. Because life after Harley is okay.
All right.
It's fantastic. Another thing I would say, all right, now here's the thing. I've told you before, I don't believe in everything that Charles Darwin has said. But one thing that I do believe in is this thing that he said. He said that it is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor is it the most intelligent. It is the most responsive to change that survives. Yeah. And man, I got to tell you, you have got to be able to pivot, especially in the world today. You've got to be able to switch directions and keep on going and not lose faith. Just keep on staring at that star because you're going to grab it. And it just you might have to take a different path to make it to that star, but you're going to make it if you're able to pivot.
Yeah.
That's my number one thing.
Excellent advice. Gail, thank you so much for your time this morning. As always, I have enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate it. I have always adored you, and I really appreciate you having me on.
Nice of you to say.